Hi everyone, this is Sanjana from Mockat, and today I'm continuing our series where we are having our students to discuss their experience of taking the CAT and the interview process. Now, today I have somebody who's a pretty atypical candidate. And what I mean by that is for a lot of you who are targeting IIM, ABC, or Blackie, or top B schools, you would have heard that for general candidates, it's really tough to get in. You need to have, a certain background. You need to have at least 2 years of work experience. You need to have super high percentiles for general candidates. It's easier for engineers and so on. And today, Aparna is someone who's sort of, broken all those myths. She's somebody who was a fresher. She's not an engineer, and she's had maths, but that was her difficult section. But she's put in the work, and she's managed to crack CAT and get into IIM Ahmedabad in her first attempt itself. In a very few months of prep, she actually started her prep sometime around July. So welcome, Aparna. Thanks for doing this, and I'm sure what I've been saying will motivate a lot of people who are a little nervous about the prep that they need to get into. So thanks for that. And why don't you start by just giving us your background? It's obviously not a commerce background. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to do an MBA.
Sure. Hi, everyone, and thank you, ma'am, for having me here. So I've done my bachelor's in environmental studies. So it's a BA honors in environmental studies. And this is a 3-year interdisciplinary degree. So we focus on science aspects of the environment and as well as the humanities side of it. And this is a pretty unconventional degree, as ma'am just explained. And during my college, I was also elected as the general secretary, and I got to represent my batch in various different events. I think this has also helped me build that exposure. Apart from that, I took up various research related internships during my 3 years at college.
Okay, and why did you want to do an MBA?
I wanted to do an MBA because I was targeting certain consulting roles in the field of sustainability, particularly corporate sustainability. So I felt that an MBA would give me the experience and the skills that I would need to excel in these kind of roles.
Tell me a little bit about, when you started your prep. We spoke about it was just in July, and the CAT exam, of course, is in November. So what was the thought process? What were the B schools that, you were targeting, and how did you go about your entire prep?
So I graduated in June 2023. And I had been thinking about CAT for a few months in my last semester. That's when I started thinking about giving CAT and targeting the top B schools like ABC or KLI. So the reason I wanted to target an IIM is because of the kind of learning experience and the environment that I will be put through once I join an IIM. It's an intensive experience, lot of learning. You learn from your peers, you learn from your professors. So that's what excited me the most. And also how many ideas that we exchanged during the course of the 2 years of an MBA. So that's what excited me the most. And that's why I wanted to join an MBA from an IIM. And to do this, we have to write the CAT exam in November. So I decided to start preparing, and I took one of Mockat's free mock tests on their website, and my scores were not that great. They were quite bad, also because it was my first time that I was doing a CAT exam. And this test helped me understand where I'm doing okay and what exactly do I need to work on? Not exactly, but what are my weak areas in general, particularly math and logical reasoning was something completely new for me. And that is something where I needed hand holding. So that's when I immediately decided to sign up with Mockat, and I started attending their classes around July.
Okay, yeah, and couple of absolutely true things which you said. First is that when you're in a B school, especially a top B school, right? So you have your studies, that's of course there, but along with that, you're surrounded by some of India's best, and there's a lot that you do in the batch, somewhat similar to what you already did in your college, where you were the general secretary. So you'll have a lot of initiatives, you'll have committees, clubs, competitions, and I think there's a lot of learning that you yourself will also end up doing over there. So like you said, when you started with no prep, of course, you've taken a test and it wasn't, as good as it needed to be. So tell us how your prep went, and maybe, talk a little bit about the 3 different sections, how you prepared. Like you spoke a little about DILR. So just give a breakdown of how you prepared, what are the strong areas, weak areas, and how did you sort of like come up in the weaker areas?
So when it comes to VARC, I had a fair understanding of how to read and understand the questions. But at the same time, the options were quite tricky and I would get confused or torn between two options. And even when it came to reading off the passage, I'm a fast reader, so I was able to read all four RCs, but I was not able to get the main message behind it, or I was not able to get the opinion of the author. So I started attending classes and I got to know more about the POV and how to find that. And the daily POV exercises, which used to be sent on the Mockat group, helped me improve on this aspect. Talking about DILR, it was completely new for me. When you say logical reasoning, we tend to think more of a numerical pattern or finding an odd one out or something like this that we've done during our school and college. But the CAT DILR section is something very different, very unique. So I needed a lot of help in this. And the daily quiz section that we have on the Mockat website, I used to do at least one every day. And there's a time limit, right? The 20-minute time limit per quiz. This would force me to understand, strategize, and find the answer within 20 minutes. Of course, at first, I was not able to do it at all. But slowly over the next few weeks, I was able to get a hang. And I was also attending classes every day. So this also helped me understand how to quickly format all the information and extract the answers from there. And Quant was my weak area. I would attend all the classes for Quant as well. There were a lot of past questions which were being discussed in class, and this helped me get a sense of the difficulty level of CAT and also how to approach the section in CAT. You only select questions that you're confident of because of the negative marking. So all the classes helped me understand all of this test taking strategy, selecting the right questions, speed, accuracy, all of this I got to learn through Mockat's classes.
And I think, yeah, like you said, I mean, you've put in a fair amount of work in, which is why, of course, from July to November, you've managed to get a great score and then get through as well. I think I've seen you in every class, and I mean, we have our doubt clearing, which is open to everybody, right, after the class. And I think even when you haven't had doubts, you've stayed back and sort of learned from others. And now you're talking about like doing things daily, and even in the mocks, right? I think you've pretty much taken every mock and attended every test taking strategy session as well. So I think that hard work's really paid off. But speaking about mocks, just tell us a little bit. I mean, we of course have 25 mocks. So how many would you have taken, and how did your prep over there go?
I took around 23 out of the 25 mocks. I would take one every week, Saturday or Sunday. I would utilize Monday to Friday in preparing the topics and doing some of the past questions. Saturday would be when I would sit and take a mock, the full 3-hour test. And so if I took it on one Saturday, the next Saturday would be the review session. So I would attend that as well. And we would all come with our doubts and we would learn from each other. So that was something that was quite helpful and helped me improve. With each mock, I could see my scores improving. And then this, of course, helped me in the actual CAT exam.
Yeah, that's actually something which I mean that is what we always try to do, right? So you take a mock, you figure out one, of course, the strategy part. Did you attempt the right questions? Was there something that you missed out? So some of the things that we speak about, read the initial paragraph of the RCs, or find the case in DILR, or try out the 688 in Quant, and then have that 1 week plan of sorts and improve. And like you said, then you look to slowly and steadily improve your marks.
So it's not just about the scores when it comes to mocks, it's also about building the mindset and the composure that you need to take a 2-hour exam. And it's like a do or die situation because you only get to do this once a year. So for me, taking mocks was also about how I sit and maintain my composure and build up the confidence to keep going until the end.
And how did that translate into the actual CAT exam? Tell me a little bit about your experience there.
Definitely. So I started off with VARC. In CAT, you need to go only section by section and you cannot choose between which section you want to do first. But for me, that worked out anyways. I started with VARC and I was able to answer as many questions as I planned to. And when it came to DILR, I was in the morning slot and I think DILR was one of the toughest slots in the morning. So I spent some time in picking out the right case, even though it took me around 5 to 10 minutes to choose the case. I went ahead with it because choosing the wrong case means you'll end up not being able to get even 5 questions correctly. So I told myself that it's okay, take your time, but choose something and do it properly, which is what I did. And I was able to get one case right. And moving on to quant, I was a little unsure and unsettled by looking at the difficulty level of the questions, but I managed to tell myself that it's okay, just keep going and choose something that you know to solve, or choose something that looks a little familiar to you. And that's how I was able to keep my confidence up.
Yeah, no, and that is tough because, if you've gone from taking, having a tough slot in DILR, right? So that also will have an impact. But you did your bit in DILR. In fact, you did very well in verbal. I should start with that. Got a 99 plus percentile, as I expected you to. And then DILR, yeah, it was a tough slot, but then, went on, you picked the right case. And that's again a great thing, right? For a lot of people, we see that it's tough, or we just start solving the first case, we just try to maximize. Not a lot of people realize that one case is typically enough for you to clear cutoffs. Couple of cases means you're anywhere at a 95 to 99 in DILR. So being calm and choosing the questions definitely works. And then from there, despite that stress, translating it, going on to quant, which comparatively is your weaker section. And we've already spoken about it. You use the 688 strategy, and despite like finding a couple of questions difficult in the beginning, sort of powered through, and of course ended up cracking the exam and getting a great percentile. So I think that's really worked. Let's do a couple of fun questions next, right? So say you've been preparing for a few months, and then of course we had the entire interview bit and all of that. So is there any particular moment during your prep which stands out now when you think back upon it?
Yes. I think after 2 months, when I started preparing, I had a one-on-one session with Vignesh sir, where he helped me analyze one of the mocks that I'd taken, and he told me what is going well and what's not going well. And he also helped me understand where I am. He told me that you are currently at a good position, you are doing well, but if you improve on these things, if you focus more on your speed and strengthening your concept, you can get your quant to a much higher percentile. And in DILR, if you can push yourself to get 1 or 2 questions from a second case, then that will add on to your overall percentile, because even an extra of 3 to 6 marks can increase your percentile greatly. So we spoke about all this, and he also helped me with strategizing and keeping myself calm during the exam by explaining it to me that it's okay, just be kind to yourself and keep progressing with every question in the paper. That stood out to me.
Right. No, great to hear that. Yeah. So for everybody, so what we do at Mockat towards the last few months is we do these one-on-one test-taking strategy sessions where if you put in the prep, but you feel that, there is a bit of a gap, you're not getting as high marks as you could, or you want to figure out what you do to, sort of improve your marks by 10, 20 marks, which is a huge deal when it comes to CAT, where last year about 40% marks itself was 99 percentile. So then that's when we have these sessions with students, and good to know that it worked for you. And that's definitely something that we've seen to be useful, and we are having it this year as well. So another thing which a lot of students think about is do you want to go for online or offline coaching, right? And your coaching here at Mockat was completely online. So how was that experience? What went good? Any challenges? Would you recommend that to somebody who's looking to start their prep now?
For me personally, the online mode worked perfectly. And I would definitely recommend online to anyone who is still in college or someone who's working, because it gives you the morning and evening to do whatever you have in your day. And the night you can fully dedicate to CAT prep. So this worked out for me perfectly, and I was able to concentrate in the night without any disturbances and focus in class and understand better.
You're right. Right. And I think you also used all the aspects of online in the sense that, you would come up to the classes, you would interact, you would ask your doubts, right? So I think that way, even though it was online, you made sure that, your prep was sort of on track.
Yes. We have, since there's a provision for doubt clearing at the end of every class, I was able to bring my doubts and ask. And it felt as natural as it does in a face-to-face interaction in a physical classroom. So
Right.
I really liked it.
Okay, that's good to hear again. And now again, continuing on this, so what aspect or service or feature of Mockat do you think you have found the most useful?
Definitely the speed concepts, because quant was my weakest area. Although I had quant in 12th grade, I had forgotten most of the concepts because I did not have any math intensive course in my college. So the speed concept videos helped me revise all these concepts within 10 minutes. Everything is condensed into 10 minutes, and that's something I really liked, because you can very quickly go through everything and it's very refreshing. And the questions in speed concepts also had varying difficulty levels, so this helped me practice all sorts of questions.
Okay, cool. And after CAT, your interviews, right? It was, of course, a little stressful having that IMA interview. I remember speaking about it. So just tell me what was running in your mind and how did you prepare for it? And of course, how was your interview experience?
So I was really happy when I got the mail that I've been selected by IIM Ahmedabad for their interview. But I also had a big concern in my head that I'm not from an engineering or commerce background, and that my percentile might not be high enough to compete with others who have been selected for the interview.
That's the
So I
perception
spoke.
actually, that as general candidates, you need to have a super high percentile. And I think sometimes you're always really nervous that, oh, everybody around us could have, like you said, the right background to offer or work experience or a super high percentile. So how do we beat them?
So I spoke to Vignesh sir regarding these concerns, and he told me that your unconventional background is something unique that you have to offer to them, and interviewers are looking for something unique that each candidate has to offer. And he told me that every second that you are in the interview, you should look at it as something positive, because you are giving them reasons to select you. So the most important thing that he highlighted to me is that in an interview, they're not looking for reasons to reject you, they're looking for reasons to select you. And this eased most of my concerns, and it made me a lot more confident. And I started introspecting and looking at what I had done in college, so that I could come up with my own experiences and something that I have done that might be of interest to the interviewers. And this is how I prepared for my interview. I also spoke to a couple of IIM alumni who shared their experiences with me, and that gave me a different perspective into the interview process and what the interviewers might be expecting. So, and each one's interviewing style was quite different, be it Vignesh sir or ma'am or the IIM alumni. So all this helped me get more ideas on how I can present myself in a better way. And Vignesh sir also took a stress interview for me, and this really helped me out with my IIM Core Code interview, because that was a very grilling and stressful experience for me.
Okay, that's great. And now some more fun stuff. So we'll do a rapid fire of sorts. So you basically don't have time to think. You just tell us the first answer that comes to your head. Okay, cool. So which is the favorite of the three sections in CAT?
VARC,
Okay, what was most stressful, the exam or the interview?
the exam.
Okay, what is the one quality that you feel you need to crack the CAT exam?
Resilience. Resilience. Keep believing in yourself and keep trusting in yourself that your hard work will lead to your results.
Okay, who did you interact more with, Vignesh or Sanjana?
So during the prep, I had interacted more with Sanjana ma'am, and I was asking all my concerns and queries to her, and she helped me out with a lot of these. And during the interview process, I interacted more with Vignesh sir, as he would guide me on the interview questions and how to present myself.
Okay, what's one feature of Mockat that you would recommend to everybody?
Mockat has a lot of interesting online features that are quite interactive. If I had to select one feature, it would be the daily quizzes.
Okay, great. In your MBA, what do you want to specialize in, or what role do you want to take up?
I'm leaning towards a finance specialization for now, and I'm looking towards roles of consulting.
Okay. What's one piece of advice that you would give to CAT aspirants?
Be kind to yourself, believe in yourself. CAT is a very unexpected exam. You need to go into the exam with the mindset of expect the unexpected. And this, I really faced this because I was in the morning slot. So I could not even hear from other friends or batchmates on how their experience was. So I went in expecting the unexpected. And I think that's a great message to share with other CAT aspirants who may be facing similar anxieties or concerns. Be kind to yourself. If you get stuck up in a question, it's not lost. You are not. You shouldn't be giving up if you get stuck up in one question or one section. Just keep going on and keep telling yourself that it's okay because you have put in the hard work to reach a state where you're sitting in an exam where lakhs of other Indians are giving the same exam. And you should definitely believe in yourself and keep going on until the end of the exam.
Absolutely.
And until the end of the whole process, actually, even during the interviews, you shouldn't lose hope on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of the exam, for instance, if it's tough for you, it's going to be tough for everybody, right?
Exactly.
So what a great message, Aparna. I think that it makes a lot of sense. And so thank you for doing this. And it's been really fun interacting. And of course, all the best. And we're going to stay in touch. And I really look forward to following your career.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you. This was a great experience as well for me. All the best for CAT 2024. You got this.
All the best for CAT 2024.